part of our job is that economic activity that helps our hotels and restaurants. It helps make our community go round.
Amy Lukasik, Executive Director of Tourism for Flagler County, explores the pulse of the county's tourism industry.
One of the tourism areas Lukasik says could use improvement to boost numbers is in lodging.
Tourism is, I would say, flat, closer to pre-COVID with a slight increase. So we're not at its peak, and I don't think we will be unless we add more hotels. I think the last hotel that came online in our community was 2008.
Among the marketing messages she strives to share is the attractiveness of Flagler County.
They love it here because you're still conveniently located to more busy, hustling communities, but here you truly can see trees, grass, water, the park system, the trail system, and our very unique beaches.
According to independent research, the county welcomed 948,000 total visitors and generated over $4.3 million in tourist development tax in fiscal year 2024, down from the $4.5 million collected in 2023. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, February 3rd.
You can put your trash out at 6 o'clock the night before and then bring them in the next day by 6.
Palm Coast's new mayor and city council have promised to take a closer look at the city's code.
During last week's Friday Free-for-All, Palm Coast City Councilman Ty Miller said the decision to reevaluate the city code came up with the previous council.
The color issue specifically was raised by former council member Hyder at a previous council meeting. So it was brought to council now as a presentation. So that's how we started that discussion. I believe the commercial work truck issue was something that we had discussed kind of in unscheduled time at the end of a council meeting recently. So that's fairly new. And I know it's not new. It's been brought up many times before, but fairly new for this council.
City Compliance Officer Barbara Grossman says it's not uncommon to make changes to the city ordinance to clear up ambiguity.
We'll use trash cans as an example. Originally, trash cans was an ordinance that said trash cans must not be able to be viewed from public view. So we had an incident where the person had their trash cans out behind a bush, and the gentleman next door said, "I can still see the trash can." They moved the trash can to the backyard. They still can see the trash can. So, of course, the way the ordinance was read, it's public view. So the definition of public view came into controversy. So the ordinance was changed to be able to say in view of the right-of-way, so that a person that would have a shrub could put their trash can behind the shrub, and the officer that's seeing it is looking in front of the right-of-way, and the trash can is fine.
Throughout the week, we'll learn more about Palm Coast City Code and potential changes coming in the future. I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. A 13-year-old Buddy Taylor Middle School student was arrested after bringing a BB gun to campus, modified to look like a real firearm. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Deputies arrested a 13-year-old for bringing a replica BB gun to Buddy Taylor Middle School. It looked just like a Glock pistol, and the orange tip had been removed. Parents, I ask you to talk to your kids that bringing any type of weapon onto a school campus will get you arrested every time. In addition, parents need to understand that your children, under Florida law, are not allowed to possess any BB gun under the age of 16 unless they are being supervised by an adult. So don't buy your child any type of gun unless you plan to comply with Florida law and supervise your child. While it may appear innocent, this is exactly how kids get in trouble. This could have had deadly consequences had he pulled this gun and a school resource deputy thought there was an active assailant, as they are trained to stop the threat immediately. Fortunately, faculty overheard students talking about this student in possession of a gun in his backpack, heard something and said something to more members of the faculty who took action along with the school resource deputy.
Investigators determined that a parent to the 13-year-old had purchased the BB gun, assuming it was a toy. The 13-year-old was charged with possession of a weapon on school property and possession of a BB gun under 16. He was taken to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility before being released to his parents through the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. In other news, motorists should prepare for an overnight closure of the I-95 northbound off-ramp at Matanzas Woods Parkway beginning tomorrow night as part of an ongoing stripping operation by the Florida Department of Transportation. The closure will take place from 10 p.m. tomorrow night through 5 a.m. The work schedule is subject to change due to weather conditions or unforeseen circumstances. And finally, Flagler County residents can now replace their concealed weapon licenses at the Flagler Beach branch of the tax collector's office. Tax collector Shelley Edmondson announced the new service made possible through legislation supported by Florida Commissioner of Agriculture Wilton Simpson. Since 2014, tax collector offices have been authorized to process applications, fingerprint applicants, and securely transmit information for eligibility checks. Over 2.4 million concealed weapon licenses are currently active in Florida. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
College softball season began this week, and Flagler County was represented. Former Bulldogs include Lexi Laura at FSCJ, Bailey Holmes at College of Central Florida, and Aniel Howard at Lynn. Former Pirate Emma Wood is a 2A player at Embry-Riddle. Saturday, Wood found herself at my home away from home, Flagler Field, when her Eagles took on the Flagler College Saints in an opening day doubleheader. Embry-Riddle won Game 1 6-5. Game 2 was a different story. And that's a fly ball to left field. That is off the wall in the corner. It's an RBI double. That scored Haisa Bianco as part of a 7-run second inning. Wood won 2 for 2 in the 9-2 win. Emma reflected on the sweep.
I think we're off to a really good start. We've been working our butts off in practice, and our coaches have been keeping us to a really high standard, so it's just really awesome to see it all play out.
Wood was second team All-Sunshine State Conference last season. She gives credit to Pirate coach Sabrina Manhart and staff for laying the foundation.
It's been really great, having a high school coach holding you to a high standard, so you're just ready for the next level.
Emma on the recognition of talent in Flagler County.
I think it's amazing. People aren't really like, oh, Flagler County, there's a bunch of studs coming out there, but I think we're really making a name for ourselves, and it's just really cool to see.
The winter sports postseason continues this week. In soccer, the Matanzas Pirate boys received an at-large bid to regionals. They travel to Niceville tomorrow. Basketball districts begin this week. For the boys, Matanzas is at Bartram Trail tonight. FPC hosts Sandalwood Wednesday. The Matanzas girls ended the regular season with a 34-32 win at First Baptist Christian Friday, despite being down to 4 players due to foul trouble. They host Buchholz tomorrow. The Bulldog ladies travel to Atlantic Coast Thursday night. Girls weightlifting regionals took place at FPC this weekend. Bulldog Nia Williams qualified for state in both disciplines, taking first in Olympic. She'll be joined by teammate Maddie Brinker. Ryan Parkinson will represent Matanzas at state. This is your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the WNZF Sports Desk, I'm Mike Licio.